डेयर एस्पेरेंट, इस सीरीज़ प्रिपरेशन में हम आपको खुश आमदीद कहते हैं। करंट अफेयर MCQs 2021। डेयर एस्पेरेंट, ये जो MCQs हैं आपको PPSC और फेडरल पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन, OTS, लॉ, गैट, CSS और PMS एजुकेशन और इसके साथ लेक्चरर और बलूचिस्तान पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन, सिंध पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन, गिलगित बल्तिस्तान पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन और तमाम स्क्रीनिंग टेस्ट के लिए जो है बहुत ज़्यादा कारआमद होंगे। तो अब हम चलते हैं करंट IG ऑफ पुलिस के बारे में। MCQ जो है उसके बारे में डिटेल में बात करते हैं। हु इज़ द करंट IG ऑफ न्यू रेलवे पॉलिस? इनाम गनी। हु इज़ द करंट IG ऑफ पुलिस? राव सरदार अली खान। Who is the current IG of Azad Jammu Kashmir? Suhail Habib Tajik. Who is the current IG of KPK Police? Muazzam Jan Ansari. Who is current IGP of Gilgit Baltistan? Muhammad Saeed Wazir. Who is the current IG of Balochistan Police? Muhammad Tahir Rai. Who is the current IG of Islamabad Police? Qazi Jamilur Rahman. Who is the current IG of National Highway and Motorway Police? Dr. Syed Kaleem Imam. Who is the current IG of Sindh Police? Mushtaq Meher. करंट गवर्नर के मुतालिक जो क्वेश्चन हैं MCQs हैं वो आपको बताते हैं। Who is the current governor of Balochistan? Zahoor Ahmad Aga. Who is the current governor of State Bank of Pakistan? Dr. Raza Bakar. Current governor of Gilgit Baltistan is Raja Jalal Hussain Makbul. Current governor of Punjab Chaudhry Sarwar. Who is the current governor of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa KPK? Shah Farman. Current governor of Sindh is Imran Ismail. करंट चीफ जस्टिस के बारे में जो है वो आपको बताते हैं। हु इज़ द करंट चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ गिलगित बल्तिस्तान? जस्टिस अली बेग. हु इज़ द करंट जस्टिस ऑफ बलूचिस्तान हाई कोर्ट? जस्टिस नसीम अख्तर आगा. द करंट चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ लाहौर हाई कोर्ट इज़ जस्टिस अमीर भट्टी. द करंट चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ आज़ाद जम्मू कश्मीर सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज़ जस्टिस राजा सईद अकरम खान. द करंट जस्टिस ऑफ आज़ाद जम्मू कश्मीर इज़ जस्टिस सदाकत हुसैन राजा. द करंट चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ पेशावर हाई कोर्ट इज़ जस्टिस कैसर राशिद खान. हु इज़ द करंट चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ पाकिस्तान? जस्टिस गुलजार अहमद. ये थे। अब जस्टिस उमर बदयाल जो है उन्होंने रिसेंटली ओथ उठाया है और सदर पाकिस्तान ने उन्हें तैनात किया है। हु इज़ द करंट चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ गिलगित बल्तिस्तान सुप्रीम अपीलेट कोर्ट? सैयद अरशाद हुसैन शाह. हु इज़ द करंट चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ फेडरल शरीयत कोर्ट इस्लामाबाद पाकिस्तान? जस्टिस मोहम्मद नूर बिस्कांजी. Who is the current Chief Justice of Islamabad High Court? Justice Athar Minullah. Who is the current Chief Justice of Sindh High Court? Justice Ahmad Ali M. Who is the current Ambassador Pakistan to Kuwait? Syed Sajjad Haider. Who is the current Ambassador of Pakistan to Hungary? Muhammad Ijaz. Who is the current ambassador to United Nations in New York? Munir Akram. Who is the current ambassador representative of Pakistan to World Trade Organization? Mujtaba Pracha. Who is the current ambassador of Pakistan to Turkey? Muhammad Sarias Sajad Qazi. Current Foreign Secretary of Pakistan is Suhail Mahmood, who is the current ambassador of Pakistan to Havana, Cuba. Sahibzada Ahmad Khan, who is the current ambassador of Pakistan to Serbia. Shahryar Akbar Khan, who is the current ambassador of Pakistan to Morocco. Hamid Asghar Khan, who is the current ambassador of Pakistan to UK. Mr. Nafis Zakaria, who is the current ambassador of Pakistan to Canada. Mr. Raza Bashir Tarar, who is the ambassador of Pakistan to Iraq. Mr. Sajid Bilal, who is the current ambassador of Pakistan to Afghanistan. Zahid Nasrullah Khan, who has been appointed as Pakistan ambassador to USA. Dr. Asad Mujid Khan. Current Federal Minister. Who is the current Federal Minister of Water Resources? Muhammad Faisal Wavda. Who has been appointed as a National Security Advisor? Muaid Yusuf. Who is the current Federal Minister of Economic Affairs? Umar Ayub Khan. Who is the current Federal Minister of Industry and Production? Makhdoom Khusro Bakhtiar. Who is the current Federal Minister of Science and Technology? Syed Shibli Faraz. Who is the current Federal Minister of Energy Division? Hamad Azhar. Who is the current Finance Minister of Pakistan? Shaukat Fiaz Ahmad Tareen. Who is the current Federal Minister of Information, Broadcasting and National Heritage? Fawad Chaudhry. Who is the current Federal Minister of State and Frontier Region? Sahibzada M. Mahbub Sultan. Who is the current Federal Minister of National Health Services Regulation and Coordination? Dr. Faisal Sultan. Who is the current Federal Minister for Information? Fawad Chaudhry. Who is the current Federal Minister of Railway? Azam Khan Sawati. Who is the current Federal Minister for Narcotics Control? Ijaz Shah. Who is the current Interior Minister of Pakistan? Sheikh Rashid Ahmad. Who is the current Federal Minister of Pakistan Parliamentary Affairs? Babar Awan. Who has been appointed as a Special Assistant to PM for Revenue? Waqar Masood. Who has been appointed as a PM Prime Minister Special Assistant on Power? Tabash Gohar. Who is the Special Assistant to Prime Minister on Health? Dr. Faisal Sultan. Who is the current Minister of State for Housing and Work? Shabir Ali Qureshi. Who is the current Federal Minister for Housing and Work? तारक बशीर चीमा. और इनका तल्लक पाकिस्तान मुस्लिम कायद-ए-आज़म मुस्लिम लीग से है. Who is the current Federal Minister for Aviation Division? Ijaz Ahmad Shah. Who is the Special Assistant to PM on National Security and Strategic Policy Planning? Dr. Muaid Yusuf. Who is the current Federal Minister for Planning, Development and Reforms in Pakistan? Asad Umar. Special Assistant to Prime Minister on Poverty Alleviation and Social Production, Dr. Sania Nishtar. Who is the Special Assistant to PM on Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Sania Nishtar. Who is the current Deputy Speaker of National Assembly of Pakistan, Qasim Suri, जिनका तल्लक सूबा बलोचिस्तान से है. Who is the Federal Minister of Interior Provincial Coordination? Fahmida Mirza. Who is the Special Assistant to Prime Minister on Youth Affairs? Muhammad Usman Dar. Who is the current Federal Minister for Aviation? Ghulam Sarwar. Who is the current Minister for State Climate Change? Sartaj Gul. Who is the current advisor to PM on Accountability? Mirza Shahzad Akbar. Who is the Federal Minister for Kashmir Affairs and Gilgit Baltistan? Ali Amin Gandapur. Who is the current Federal Minister for Minorities Affairs, formerly known as a Ministry of Port and Shipping? Sayyid Ali Haider Zadi. Who is the leader of opposition in National Assembly of Pakistan? Shahbaz Sharif. Who is the current Federal Minister for State of Communication? Murad Saeed. Who is the President of Pakistan? Dr. Arif Rahman Alvi. Who is the current advisor to Prime Minister on climate change? Amin Aslam. Who is the current advisor to Prime Minister on institutional reforms and advisory? Dr. Ishrat Hussain. Who is the current advisor to Prime Minister on Commerce, Textile Industry and Production and Investment? Abdur Razak Daud. Who is the current advisor to Prime Minister on Establishment Portfolio? Muhammad Shahzad Arbab. Who is the current Federal Minister of Religious Affairs and Interfaith Harmony? Nurul Haq Qadri. Who is the Federal Minister of Federal Education and Heritage? Shafqat Mahmood. Who is the Federal Minister of Human Rights? Shereen Mazari. Who is the current Federal Minister of Defense Production? Zubaida Jalal. Who is the current leader of the House Senate of Pakistan? Shahzad Wasim. Who is the current Federal Minister of Information, IT and Communication? Sayyid Aminul Haq. Who is the current Federal Minister of Defense? Pervez Khattak. Who is the current Foreign Minister of Pakistan? Sayyid Shah Mahmood Qureshi. Who is the current Federal Minister of Law and Justice? Muhammad Farouk Naseem, जिनका तल्लक MKM से है. Who is the current Prime Minister of Pakistan? Mr. Imran Khan. Who is the current Defense Minister of Pakistan? Pervez Khattak. Chief Ministers. Who is the current Prime Minister of Azad Jammu Kashmir? Sardar Abdul Qayyum Khan Niazi. Chief Minister of Gilgit Baltistan? Khalid Khurshid. Who is the current Chief Minister of Balochistan? Abdul Qudus Bazinjo. Who is the current Chief Minister of Sindh? Sayyid Murad Ali Shah. Who is the current Chief Minister of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa? Mahmood Khan. Who is the Chief Minister of Punjab? Sardar Usman Buzdar. Current Provincial Minister of KPK. Who is the current Minister of Secondary and Elementary Education in KPK, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa? Shahram Khan Tarakai. Who is the current Minister of Social Welfare Development in KPK? Hashim Inamullah Khan. Who is the current Minister of Information Technology in KPK? Ziaullah Bangash. Who is the current Minister of Communication and Works in KPK? Mahmood Khan. CM has hold the current and work himself. Mahmood Khan जो हैं वो KPK के Chief Minister हैं. Who is the current Minister of Local Government in KPK? Kamran Bangash. Who is the Special Assistant to CM on Mines and Mineral Development Department in KPK? Arif Ahmad Zai. Who is the current Minister of Agriculture in KPK? Muhibullah Khan. Who is the current Minister of Food in KPK? Haji Kalandar Khan Lodi. Who is the current Minister of Forest in KPK? Sayyid Muhammad Ishtiaq Umar. Who is the current Minister of Law in KPK? Sultan Muhammad Khan. Who is the current Deputy Speaker of KPK Assembly? Mahmood Jan. Who is the current Speaker of KPK Assembly? Mushtaq Ahmad Ghani. Who is the current Law Minister of KPK? Imtiaz Shahid Qureshi. Current Provincial Minister of Punjab. Who is the current Minister of Food in Punjab? Aleem Khan. Who is the current Minister of Population Welfare Development in Punjab? Sardar Hashim Dogar. Who is the current Provincial Minister of Environmental Protection in Punjab? Muhammad Rizwan. Who is the current Minister of Information and Culture in Punjab? Fazul Hassan Chauhan. Who is the current Minister of Livestock and Dairy Development in Punjab? Sardar Hasnain Bahadur Darwish. Who is the current opposition leader of Punjab Assembly? Hamza Shahbaz. Who is the current Minister of Housing, Urban Development and Public Health Engineering in Punjab? Mia Mahmood Rashid. Who is the current Minister of Primary and Secondary Healthcare, Specialized Healthcare and Medication Education in Punjab? Dr. Yasmin Rashid. Who is the current Minister of Labour and Human Resource in Punjab? Ansar Majid Niaz. Who is the current Minister of Law and Parliamentarian Affairs in Punjab? Raja Muhammad Basharat. Who is the current Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs in Punjab? Taimur Khan. Who is the current Minister of Finance in Punjab? Makhdoom Hashim Jama Bakht. Who is the current Minister of Revenue in Punjab? Malik Muhammad Anwar. Who is the current Minister of School Education in Punjab? Dr. Murad Ras. Who is the current Minister of Industry, Commerce and Investment in Punjab? Mia Muhammad Aslam Iqbal. Who is the current Minister of Irrigation in Punjab? Mohsen Laghari. Who is the current Minister of Excise and Taxation and Narcotics Control in Punjab? Hafiz Mumtaz Ahmad. Who is the current Minister of Higher Education in Punjab? Yasser Humayun Sarfraz. Who is the Speaker of Punjab Assembly? Chaudhry Pervez Ilahi. Who is the current Minister of Education in Balochistan? Sardar Yar Muhammad Rind. Who is the current Minister of Local Government and Development Balochistan? Muhammad Saleh Bahutani. Who is the current Social Welfare and Human Rights Minister of Balochistan? Mir Asadullah Baloch. Who is the current Minister of Finance in Balochistan? Zahoor Ahmad Baludi. Who is the current Minister of Home and Tribal Affairs in Balochistan? Ziaullah Langwu. Who is the current Minister of Livestock and Dairy Development in Balochistan? Mitta Khan. Who is the current Minister of Forest and Wildfare in Balochistan? Mir Ziaullah. Who is the current Minister of Information in Balochistan? Zahoor Ahmad Baludi. Who is the current Minister of Public Health Engineering in Balochistan? Noor Muhammad. Who is the current Minister of Culture, Tourism and Achieves in Balochistan? Sardar Sarfraz Chakar Domki. Who is the Supreme Court of Balochistan Assembly? Mir Jan Muhammad Khan Jamali. Who is the current Deputy Speaker of Balochistan Assembly? Sardar Babar Musa Khail. Who is the current Minister of Communication and Work in Balochistan? Nawabzada Tariq Maghsi. Who is the current Minister of Health in Balochistan? Mr. Nasibullah Khan. Who is the current Minister of Food and Law Parliamentarian in Balochistan? Muhammad Saleh Batuni. Who is the current Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives in Balochistan? Zarmak Khan. Who is the current Minister of Afaq, Religious Affairs, Zakat and Usher Development in Sindh? Fiaz Ali Bhatt. Who is the current Education Minister of Sindh? Sayyid Sardar Ali Shah. Who is the current Opposition Leader of Sindh Assembly? Halim Adil Sheikh. Who is the current Special Assistant to Chief Minister Sindh on Bureau of Supply and Prices? Dr. Khatmullah Jeevan. Who is the current Minister for Labour, Human Resources, Education and Literacy Department in Sindh? Saeed Ghani. Who is the current Provincial Minister of Irrigation in Sindh? Suhail Anwar Sial. Who is the current Minister of Work and Services Department in Sindh? Sayyid Nasir Hussain Shah. Who is the current Minister of Energy Department in Sindh? Imtiaz Ahmad Sheikh. Who is the current Minister of Excise, Taxation and Narcotics in Sindh? Mukesh Kumar Chawla. Who is the current Advisor to Chief Minister Sindh on Law and Anti-Corruption in Sindh? Barrister Murtaza Wahab. Who is the current Advisor to Chief Minister Sindh on Industries and Communication and Commerce? Sardar Muhammad Bakhsh Meher, who is the current Minister of Women Development in Sindh. Shehla Raza, who is the current Minister of Revenue and Relief in Sindh. Makhdoom Mehboobuz-Zaman, who is the current Minister of Mines and Mineral Development in Sindh. Mir Shabir Ali Bajrani, who is the current Minister of Agriculture and Supply and Prices in Sindh. Mr. Muhammad Ismail Rahu, who is the current Minister of Local Government, Public Health Engineering, Rural Development and Kachi Abadi in Sindh. Sayyid Nasir Hussain Shah, who is the current Minister of Minority Affairs, Social Welfare, Prisons in Sindh. Seth Haramim Kishori Lal, who is the current Minister of Health and Population Welfare in Sindh. Dr. Azra Fazal Palicho, who is the current Deputy Speaker of Sindh in Assembly. Rehana Lagari, who is the current Minister of Forest, Wildlife Environment Department in Gilgit-Baltistan. Raja Zakaria, who is the current Minister of Public Work in Gilgit-Baltistan. Wazir Muhammad Salim, who is the current Minister of Finance in GB, Gilgit-Baltistan. Mr. Javed Hussain Manawa, who is the current Minister of Information and Planning Development Department in GB. Fatehullah Khan, Chief Minister of Gilgit-Baltistan is Khalid Khurshid, who is the current Speaker of Gilgit-Baltistan Assembly. Sayyid Amjad Zahdi, who is the current Deputy Speaker of GB Assembly. Nazar Ahmad, current President CEO, who is the current CEO of Ignite National Technology Fund. Asam Shahriyan Hussain, who is the current Speaker of Sindh Assembly. Aga Siraj Durrani, who is the current Minister of Tourism Gilgit-Baltistan. Nasir Ali Khan, who is the current Minister of Water and Power in Gilgit-Baltistan. Mr. Mushtaq Hussain, who is the current Minister of Health Department in GB. Gulbarg Khan, who is the current Minister of Tourism in GB. Raja Nasir Abbas, who is the current Minister of Local Government in GB. Abdul Hamid, who is the current Minister of Education in GB. Raja Muhammad Azam Khan, who is the current Minister of Local Government and Rural Development in GB. Haji Abdul Hamid, who is the Chairman of Water and Power Development Authority WAPDA. Lieutenant General Muzammal Hussain, who is the current Chairman of Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission. Muhammad Naeem, who is the CEO Q Mobile. Jishan Akhtar, who is the current President of Pakistan. Dr. Arif Rahman Alvi, who is the Chairman of National Counter-Terrorism. Nekta Malik Khaliq Dad Lak, who is the current Chief Intelligence Bureau IB of Pakistan. Dr. Muhammad Sulaiman Khan, who is the current Chairperson of Benazir Income Support. Dr. Sania Nishtar, एहसास प्रोग्राम भी हम इसको बोलते हैं. Who is the last President of International Cricket Council. Zahir Abbas, current Chairman of PPSC Punjab Public Service Commission. Lieutenant General Retired Maqsood Ahmed, who is the current Chairman of Gwadar Port Authority. Nasir Khan Hassani, who is the head coach of Pakistan cricket team. Saklan Mushtaq, who is the current Chairman of Pakistan Cricket Board. Ramiz Raja, who is the current Chairman of Federal Board Revenue FBR. Dr. Ishfaq Ahmed, who is the National Commission for Minorities. Chela Ram Khelwani, who is the current Chairman of China-Pakistan Economical Corridor Authority CPEC. Khalid Mansoor, who is the current Deputy Governor of State Bank of Pakistan. Saima Kamil, who is the current President of Pakistan Golf Federation. Lieutenant General Mia Muhammad Hilal Hussain, who is the current president of Zarai Taraqqiyati Bank Limited ZTBL, Muhammad Shahbaz Jamil, who is the current captain of Pakistan women cricket team, Javeria Khan, who is the current chairman of Pakistan International Airline PIA, Aslam R. Khan, who is the current chairman of Nadra, Tariq Malik, who is the current Director General of Airport Security Force, Major General Abad Latif Khan, who is the current Director General of Federal Investigation Agency, Sanaullah Abbasi, who is the current Director General of Airport Security Force, Major General Abad Latif Khan, who is the current Chairman of Senate of Pakistan, Sadiq Sanjarani, who has been appointed the new Chairman, Ruhat al-Halal Committee, Maulana Abdul Kabir Azad, who is the current Chairman of Federal Public Service Commission, Captain Retired Zahid Saeed, who is the current Chairman of National Disaster Management Authority, Lieutenant General Akhtar Nawaz, who is the current CEO, Zong Network, Wang Hua, who is the current Chairman of Competition Commission of Pakistan, Rahat Kunan Hussain, who is the current Chairman of Pakistan Ulama Council, Maulana Tahir Mahmood Ashrafi, who is the current CEO of Drug Regulation Authority of Pakistan, Muhammad Mr. Asam Rauf, who is the current CEO of Pakistan Steel Mill, Brigadier Retired Shuja Hussain, who is the Executive Director of National Institute of Health, Islamabad, Major General Amir Ikram, who is the current President and CEO Bank of Punjab, Zafar Masood, who is the current Chairman of Federal Land Commission of Pakistan, Babar Yaqub Fateh Muhammad, fill in the blanks, has been appointed new Chairman of Security Exchange Commission Pakistan, Amir Khan, who is the current Chairman of Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, Amir Khan, who is the current CEO of Pakistan Petroleum Limited. डियर व्यूवर्स, आप इसका आंसर निकाल कर कमेंट्स में बॉक्स में लिखें. हु इज़ द करंट फेडरल अमेंड्स पर्सन ऑफ प्रोटेक्शन अगेंस्ट द हरासमेंट ऑफ वुमेन एंड वर्क प्लेस, कशमाला तारिक. हु इज़ द करंट मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर ऑफ पाकिस्तान एंड मिनरल डेवलपमेंट कॉरपोरेशन लिमिटेड, फरहान शफी. हु इज़ द करंट प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान स्क्वैश फेडरेशन, मुजाहिद अनवर खान. Who is the current president of Pakistan Taekwondo Federation, Lieutenant Colonel retired Wasim Ahmed. Who is the current chairman of Transparency International Pakistan, Suhail Muzaffar. Who is the current chief executive commissioner of Pakistan, Sikandar Sultan Raja. Who is the current chairman of Pakistan Red Crescent Society, Ibrarul Haq. Who is the current DG Radio Pakistan, Mrs. Samaya Wakar. Who is the current chairman of Pakistan Nuclear Regular Authority, Zahir Ayub Beg. Who is the current chairman of NS Standing National Assembly Standing Committee on Finance, Fazullah Kamako. Who is the current chairman of Sparco, Major General Amir Nadeem. Who is the current chairman of Punjab Vocational Training Council, Major Raja Shah Nawaz Badr. Who is the current executive director of Pakistan Health Research Council, Major General Amir Ikram. Who is the current chairman of Council of Common Industry, PM Imran Khan, Prime Minister Imran Khan. Who is the current chairperson of Tabata, Ali Salman Sadiq. Who is the current chairman of NAPRA, Tausif H. Farooqi. Who is the elected chairman of National Assembly Finance Panel, Asad Umar. Who is the current chairman of PEMRA, Mirza Salim Beg. who is the current chairman of parliamentarian panel on CPAC? Sher Ali Arbab. Who is the current chairman of Pakistan Bank Association? Muhammad Aurangzeb. Who has been appointed Director General Monitoring Cell in Supreme Court on March 2019? Suhail Nasir. Who is the President of National Bank of Pakistan? Arif Usmani. Who is the current chairman of Pakistan Telecom Authority? Major General Retired Amar Azim Bajwa. Who is the current chairman of Sindh Public Service Commission? Noor Muhammad Jadmani. Who is the president of Hockey Federation? Khalid Sajjad Khokhar. Who is the current president of National Defence University? Lieutenant General Amar Riaz. Who is the current vice chancellor of Allama Iqbal Open University? Dr. Zia Qayyum. Who is the current chairman of Executive Council on Creation of South Punjab Province? Tahar Bashir Chima. Who is the current chairperson of NCSW National Commission on the Status of Women? Khawar Mumtaz. Who is the current chairman of Pakistan Stock Exchange? Sulaiman Mehdi. Who is the current president of Angro Corporation? Ghiyas Khan. Who is the current chairman of Board of Investment? Haroon Sharif. Who is the current president of Pakistan Muslim League? N. Shabaz Sharif. Who is the incumbent chairman of Council of Islamic Ideology? Dr. Qibla Iyaz. Dr. Qibla Iyaz. Who is the current chairman of HEC? Dr. Tariq Banuri. Who is the current chairman of HEC Punjab? Mr. Nizamuddin. Who is the current chairman of NAB? Justice Retired Javed Iqbal. Who is the Auditor General of Pakistan? Javed Jahangir. Who is the current Honorable Wafaqi Muhtasib of Pakistan? Sayyid Tahir Shahbaz. बहुत शुक्रिया डेयर व्यूवर्स। अगर आपको मेरी वीडियो ये अच्छी लगी है तो वीडियो को लाइक करें, शेयर करें और उन दोस्तों को ज़रूर फॉरवर्ड करें जिनको इनकी ज़रूरत है। मिलते हैं एक नई वीडियो के साथ। पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद। अल्लाह हाफिज़।